Today, friends, I will be talking about my favoritist Super Nintendo games. And by favoritist, I mean my 6th favorite, 5th favorite, and 4th favorite. Are you ready? Let's begin. Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong. Who doesn't love Donkey Kong? I mean, really, people, let's be honest. But for realsies, so Donkey Kong Country is one of the first Super Nintendo games I ever remember playing. And it's one of the first Super Nintendo games I ever remember playing with my aunts. Not like little like ant insects, but aunts, as some of you say, aunts. Because my aunts played a lot of Super Nintendo as well, and I was maybe 5 or 6 when Donkey Kong Country came out, and so I wasn't too adept with my gamer skills at that point. So they would, one of them, I think there was a couple, 2 of my aunts play Donkey Kong, so one or the other would come over, like they would like rotate like gamer duty, and they would help my dad and I like through levels, like how to like defeat bosses, show us where all like the secrets were, and then we learned about this thing called a player's guide, and their assistance was no longer needed. And Donkey Kong in general just had a really high impact on like my future as a gamer, because it was one of the first games that I ever played. I got like really into it. I mean, there were books, and as I got older, I was able to read all the books. I wrote like fanfic about Donkey Kong, even though I have no idea where it is now, which is probably for the best. But yeah, it was just super fun, and I just loved it so much. I loved the music. I thought the music is so freaking catchy. And what's that one? It's called like Oil Barrel or something. I'm gonna play for you right now. Listen. And I still think the game looks good. I mean, maybe it's because my eyes were like brought up with that, and at that time I thought the graphics were really good, and so in my head they're still really good, and I don't see them for being the blurry pixelations they are. I see them as rad 3DS graphics on a 2D platformer. That's what I see them as. If you want to fight me for it, come at me, bro. With all that said, Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country 3 were really fun as well, but because Donkey Kong Country is the first one I played, it's the one that I hold nearest and dearest to my heart and my heart's arteries and all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my original copy of Super Mario World. So this is like legit the first game I ever like remember playing, and the first game I think I ever owned. I would kiss it, but I don't know, this game has been around for, oh, I don't know, 24 years, and so I probably shouldn't. But yeah, I think the vast majority of you knows what Super Mario World is all about, so I don't really need to talk about how it's a freaking rad-ass platformer. No, nay, I don't need to go there. But yeah, so for obvious reasons, Super Mario World is one of the most important games in my life. Oh god. Because it is the first game I ever played, or the first game I ever have recollection of playing. I had a pink beanbag, and I would take that beanbag out of my room, because at the time the Super Nintendo was in the living room, not in my bedroom. And I would yank that plastic sumbitch out, drop it in front of the TV, and just like go at it. And I remember I got Yoshi for the first time, and I thought Yoshi was like a king of some sort, because that's the way he looked on the overworld map. And I was like, I've got the king! I've got the king! I know I've told that story before, but there it is again. So this is kind of funny. So because I was so young when I started playing Super Mario World, I wasn't quite sure how this whole like video game thing worked. And I was able to get through the first several levels of the game just fine. But when it came time for the castle, there are doors in the castle, and I could never quite figure out how to open them. And I remember distinctly this one memory of mine. My dad was playing in my room because we had moved it into my room, and we were at the first castle. I was laying in bed watching him play, and he got to the door, and then he didn't know how to open it. And at the time, I didn't know how to open it either. I mean, all along, all you have to do is just press up on the D-pad, but neither of us knew that. So we were there for like 5 minutes, just like trying to figure out how to open this door. And I remember I was just hoping so hard, and I was just like, please, please, Dad, please open this. Like, I think like I may have even like said a silent prayer or something. Like, I was just a little kid. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But that's, yeah, I just remembered that memory. That was a good one. And seeing how Super Mario World is the first game my dad and I ever played together, it's still like a really, really special game for us. So we'll still have like dates this day, like to this day, you know, be like, hey Dad, come over, let's play Super Mario World. Or I'll go over there. Or he'll come over here, like I said, and we'll just play for a couple hours. And it's just really fun to like relive those times of old. Oh, I just remembered another thing I did. I'm getting so excited I can't talk straight. So you know that secret level? I think it's, is it the first ghost house? It may be the first ghost house. Like if you just keep along like the main path of Super Mario World and you don't like do any of the secret levels, I think it's the first ghost house. And if you unlock the secret exit, you get the it's called like the secret level. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. Anyway, it has a Yoshi, it has like 2 mushrooms and eventually 2 flowers and 2 feathers. And you can like farm lives. And so one day while my dad was at work, I farmed like the maximum amount, which was like 99, I think, right? And I got to 99 lives. I spent like a really long time doing it. At least it felt like a really long time because I was just a little kid. And I got 99 lives, and then I just shut off the Super Nintendo. What a freaking waste. So my dad got home, and I remember I like ran up to him, and I wasn't like taller than his like waist at that point. I was like, Dad, I got 99 lives. He's like, okay, right on. Now we can like defeat that boss. I think it was like Chocolate Land or one of the castles in there. He's like, yeah, now we will have enough lives to like not die too much, so I'll have to start all over. And I was like, oh, but I turned off the Super Nintendo, huh? Yeah, never forget that one. I think it's Chocolate Island, not Chocolate Land. Anyway, Super Mario World, super fun, super nostalgic. Like, first game I ever played, so yes. I ever encountered this little gem, I was with my cousin, and we were at a video game rental shop called Video One. My grandma would take us at least like once a week to rent a new game. That said, my cousin always had the ultimate say because he was a little brat. Love you, love him to death, love you, even though you're probably not watching this, just covered my ass. And we rented Harvest Moon, and we got back to the house, and he started playing it. And there was no killing, there was no like monsters, you know, we didn't even know what we're supposed to do. And he got bored with it and he shut it off. And that was the last time I saw Harvest Moon for many moons. I did not get to play at all. So it wasn't for, I would say, at least a couple months that I was over at my aunt's house and she was playing Harvest Moon. And I was able to like watch her play it, and then I got it. I'm like, oh, this is what Harvest Moon is all about. And I was hooked, man. I was hooked so fast and so hard after I figured out, like, okay, so I'm farming. There aren't any monsters, but that's okay. It was unlike any game I had ever played before. And the fact that my aunt played it, it was a really fun, like, way for us to bond. In fact, I didn't know what I was doing half the time, so I would give her my cart and she would like get things for me. She would get me like cows and weapon upgrades. So that is why she wrote my name on the back of the cart, because she was working on her game, she was working on my game. I don't fault her for this, because now it's like special to me. Because now it's like, oh, I remember that childhood memory. Yeah, Harvest Moon. And it's just gone on to be one of my favorite series ever. I don't play too much of it anymore on the 3DS or on the, I think one came out for like the Wii a while back, Tree of Tranquility, or I don't even know. But my favorites are definitely Harvest Moon, Super Nintendo, and Harvest Moon Back to Nature for the PlayStation 1. Harvest Moon 64 is really good too. Harvest Moon is also really special because it's one of the things my best friend and I bonded over. Met her in the 3rd grade, and I think I was playing this 3rd grade, 4th grade, something like that. And she would come over and we would just play this like for hours and hours on end, and it was really fun for her to watch because we could strategize like what we were gonna do that day. Like, okay, well, let's go up to the mountaintop and harvest mushrooms, and then we'll come back and we'll buy a chicken. It was just a really fun way for us to like have control of these like pseudo lives, because you know when you're kids, like your life is very like ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. You wake up, you eat, you go to school, you have free time, and then you go to bed at like 8 o'clock, and then you wake up, and so it's not like you have a car, you can't do anything. So kind of a, you know, for the same reason I love Earthbound, spoiler, I love Harvest Moon because it gave me like my own life that I could like, I was in control of. Not that I had like a bad childhood or anything, I probably like one of the best childhoods, you know, like ever, because my parents are awesome, but you know, it's still that like feeling of like freedom and like, I can run my own farm and find my own big woman and etc, etc. So yeah, Harvest Moon. Dudes, one time I saw a complete Harvest Moon in the box, sealed everything at a gas station for $20. $20. Granted, this was like still in the time of the like Super Nintendo era, so it wasn't like a super rare thing to find. But I remember, and I called my aunt when I got home, and she was like, oh my god, go get it! And then I bought it for her. Wish I had bought it for me, but alas. Harvest Moon. God, I love Harvest Moon so much. Ah! Well, that will do it. What the hell is that weird accent? Is it? That'll do it for this week's iteration of my top favoriteest Super Nintendo games of ever. Have one more video to do? Oh god, only one more video. Oh, I'm so sad. Then I'll move on to like Nintendo 64 or something. What should I move on to next? I don't even know. I'm so excited. Okay, getting ahead of myself. Have a fantastical, not to be confused with fantastical, rest of your day. Bye!